Hello, everybody. This is Adam Harden, and welcome to my Weebly website. This has been a new experience for me, to say the least, but I'm glad that I was involved in it to learn more about technology and utilize it in my classroom for the remaining years of my teaching career, and I look forward to doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and click over to the final project. And as you see, this is a 10th grade American government class. I teach at Effingham County High School in Springfield, Georgia, just outside Savannah. We're going to be learning about the United States Constitution. And what's interesting is the whole American government class builds on the United States Constitution. So it's imperative that we learn some basic concepts and points about the United States Constitution before we progress on. Once we learn these basic concepts, and as you see the standard at the very top, and obviously I won't read that all to you, but SSCG 3, scrolling on down the lesson objective, I do want to talk about this. Students will have a basic understanding of the framing and structure of the United States Constitution, and will be able to identify key components that led to ratification. As I was saying, this class builds on the Constitution, and once these students grasp some basic knowledge and basic components of the Constitution, as we progress on through the course, we're going to break a lot of these apart and break them down and learn more in depth about them, such as the three branches of government, different articles of the Constitution, all the amendments, and also qualifications to hold certain office, whether it would be House of Representatives, the Senate, and so on. But again, this lesson is just to give a basic background of it before we progress on. Furthermore, this class is only a semester class, so we have a lot of ground to cover. So not any time to waste, not that there ever is any time to waste, but there's a lot of ground to cover with this content. Moving on down, students' instructions are clearly written here. They're going to view video, presentation tool, quizzes, interactive assignments, and so on. And all the interactive assignments, I do keep a record of usernames and login information because it does seem a lot of times the kids may forget that, and I understand that. That's fine, but I'll always have that with me, so they'll see me if they need to see it, if they have forgotten, I should say. Assessments, again, we're going to do a Google Doc at the end of this activity. I found it very helpful to do Google Doc activities during the quarantine and the distance learning. The students are going to address the basic components of the Constitution, the purpose, structure, and so forth, but they're also going to need to use visual aids. I'm going to stress maybe creating a timeline and things like that, and they'll be able to work on that on the Google Doc and submit it to me. Furthermore, remediation plans are in place. If the students don't answer at least 70% of the questions correctly, they're going to need to do that again. However, before they do that, I will hold small group discussions and make sure everybody's on par with what we need to accomplish. Furthermore, I do tutor a lot. So I've got right now some tutoring sessions that I will have. 3 sessions are scheduled a week. I like to do 1 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, but I will do appointments as needed. Moving on down, my final project lesson plan is right here on this button. And the next thing we're going to talk about is the podcast video that we created. Now, this podcast video, and as you see, the first part of it does say James Madison is known as the father of the Constitution. That's one of the main things that they're going to need to know when we get started. But a lot of good information on this podcast. Students will be able to watch it. They can pause it. They can go back and check it out. But I hit a lot of basic points of it. I talk about the 3 parts of the Constitution as far as the preamble articles and the amendments in there, and give some other details as well, and visual aids. Coming on down, the curation tool has been a wonderful thing to find out about. I've got a lot of sites. With this curation tool, I'll explain how they're going to use it. They're going to check out these. There's others as well that I'll certainly list as time goes on. But first, the National Constitution Center. We've talked about field trips and virtual field trips and so forth. This is an excellent place, and I would love to go one day. Just located a couple blocks from Liberty Bell Independence Hall, but it's the only museum that's totally devoted to the Constitution. It's a hands-on history museum, and students will be able to click on this site and find out a lot of great information. The Annenberg Classroom, these resources are wonderful, and I've used these throughout the last couple of years at least. A lot of videos on there. Check out games, learning about Supreme Court cases and so forth. WhiteHouse.gov's got a lot of great information on pretty much anything government, but I do have it linked to the Constitution where students will be able to check this out, find some good information. Peter Sagal PBS, excellent site. Travels across the country finding out how the Constitution lives, how it works. A lot of games on here as well, with students be able to practice, and they're a lot of fun actually for them. I even enjoy myself incredibly. And then lastly, just the official U.S. Constitution website. Learn more about the Constitution itself. So let's go ahead and scroll down some more. The presentation tool that we created, they'll go through it. I've actually embedded a couple extra videos in there as well that will benefit learning about the Constitution, the basic concepts of it, I should say, because as I say, down the road, we're going to really pick it apart. But a couple videos in there. One, I've got a video embedded about the Khan Academy that goes into the Constitutional Convention and the whole purpose of why the Constitution was needed, because of the Articles of Confederation being weak and so forth. So it explains that in great detail. And then there's a Smart Songs video embedded in here. And Smart Songs, they create little rap videos about history and the Constitution. Kids really enjoy it, and I've been using those for the past 4 or 5 years, and they're embedded in the presentation tool, as well. Interactive activities. The directions are here. The rubrics for the interactive activities are also with each assignment in a PDF, so they'll be able to click on that and check, how this will be graded. I want them to complete each of these in order. First, there's going to be an iCivics web quest, which is excellent. Kids will be able to go through it. I think there's 11 components, I'm pretty sure, and the rubric does break down each component with it. Well, they'll go through the whole Constitution incredibly. They'll read parts of it. Their website's already there for them to click on and learn about it. And just an excellent web quest. A lot of fun, actually. Really good. iCivics is great anyway. They've got so many activities on there that has to do with the American government. Moving on down to BrainPop. Now, I know we're all familiar with BrainPop. I've been using BrainPop for many years, so I'm sure most of you know how it works, where you watch the video and answer the questions on there. Real good. BrainPop is excellent. I was happy to see that this BrainPop, incredibly, on the Constitution had been redone since the last time I played it last year. So it's an actual improvement. Moving on down, I've created quizzes on the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. And they're going to do that same concept, go through it, answer the questions. There are 10 of those, and then a Kahoot as well. They'll complete the quiz on the structure of the Constitution. And then lastly, another form of assessment that I'll do in addition to the Google Docs, as I said, students will take this Google Forms that I created on the Constitution, have just a lot of basic components, focusing on the principles of the Constitution and so forth. Moving on down, one of the last things, this is more of an enrichment type activity. This is the virtual field trip that I created for the virtual field trip assignment we did recently, and it's Effingham County Veterans Park. So students can pretty much relate what we're talking about to local. It shows all the local citizens in Effingham County that fought in various wars, that are upholding the Constitution. They'll be able to see the wall. They'll check out this virtual field trip, and maybe they'll visit it. It's not too far from the school, actually, and they may see their family members' names on there. They'll even see my name on there because I was in Operation Iraqi Freedom back in 2003. So good way to relate it. But it's been a lot of fun doing this. I've learned a great deal, and I look forward to implementing this into my classroom in the near future. Thanks for watching.